Hi, my name is Christina Hakopian, and I will be hosting this audio commentary with acclaimed writer-director Wolfgang Petersen.
Hello.
This is a particularly special experience for me because I could be the biggest fan of this film.
Then you're the right person to do this.
Hello and welcome.
Hello, I'm very happy to be here.
Oh, but Wolfgang, it has been 30 years. We're celebrating the 30-year anniversary of this film's release. How does that feel?
Yeah, that feels strange. And I must tell you, when you asked me to do the commentary here, I said, oh my God, what do I do now? I have not seen the film for 30 years. It's really true. And then a week ago, I saw it for the first time after 30 years to prepare myself a little bit. And so that was exciting. That was really great. This song, for example, here, what a great song that was. Actually, this song was just added later when we started and did the film in Europe, in Germany, and it came out. The song was not there. We added this song composed by Giorgio Moroder later to give it a little bit more of a sort of international feel to it. And a song is always good. If the song is good, it sells more tickets, and it did.
How did the American audiences respond to this film off the bat?
Oh, it was a great reaction. I mean, it always was compared to, and there was kind of an irony to it, to E.T., because Spielberg's film came out a couple of years earlier. And there was also a sci-fi fantasy film, and it was very often compared to it. And the irony of it is that actually Steven Spielberg, who I was very close to, helped me to make a version for the American market that is 7 minutes shorter than the European version. And that was very nice of him. And I think it helped the film here. The pacing was a little better. It's a little faster than, normally the European pacing is a little slower. So it worked well. And I think the reception was very good. It was excellent. We were very happy. At that time, the Olympics were here in '84. And it was a little scary to come out with this movie, during the Olympics. But still, it made a good impression, I think.
Why is this father-son relationship so pertinent to the story here?
I think it's very important because the father, he lost his wife. The mother is gone, is dead. The loneliness of the boy is very important here to show. And also that the father tries to really be somewhat strict with him and keep your feet on the ground and don't lose yourself and be strong and all that. That as a setup in the beginning is very important so that later on he is very hesitant to follow the seduction of the book and everything what comes later because his father told him to be strong and keep the feet on the ground. But then he discovers that he should do his own thing and become his own person. And that's one of the great themes of this film. That's very nice. I remember here the actor, very famous and still is, I think, television actor here. He was so surprised that I gave him like 20 takes or so to do this sequence of the scene, because he was so used to do it once, twice, bang, the next. American television was so fast done. And here, I said, no, let's do it again. You sit down, you're going to take your time. And we worked on the scene. He was in heaven. That was really interesting for me to see how television worked here versus our more slower sort of movie timing. Great guy, Barrett Oliver. I always liked to watch him.
Do you want to talk about the casting experience of bringing Barrett to the screen here?
Yeah. I mean, always to cast kids is very, very difficult process and very, very, very hard to do. To see all these little boys coming in and doing the part and auditioning and then later on to have to say no. Oh, God. But it was very clear with Barrett. He was so sweet and so charming and such a good actor, so it was very easy. Very, very difficult is, and we'll see him a little later, is the boy for Atreyu, to find him. Noah Hathaway. We want to somebody who is maybe Indian or half Indian because it fits the character of that warrior and the look, and so we'll come to him later. But Barrett was a great choice. He really was good. And then later on also I will tell you about the childlike empress. That was extremely difficult to find her.
Stop daydreaming. start facing your problems, okay?
Okay.
Okay. There. I think we've had a nice talk. We should have more. You have a good day, son. Don't be late for school again.
But yesterday I wasn't. Hey, it's the weirdo. The weirdo. Got any cash for it today?
So now we come here to the exterior of the film. This is Vancouver. It's based on a German book called Die unendliche Geschichte. And of course it takes place in Germany. But we wanted to make, of course, an internationally, hopefully successful film. So we decided to go and look for a city that is not German or European. It feels like it can be somewhere out there, somewhere where everybody can relate to. Vancouver looked fine to us. So everything what you see of these kind of normal, non-fantasy, non-fantasia scenes, they are done in Vancouver, like this. It's so fun when they put them in here. It's so funny because this theme of bullying is now so in the news all the time. But as we all know, he will have a chance to fight back, little Barrett.
Hey, man. Who said you can get out the car?
Now you have to have a look. There's, for a quick moment, myself and the producer Bernd Eichinger crashing into Bastian there. But you have to really watch it now. Boom, there. Smart part, like Hitchcock. So now we are in Munich. So the interiors, they were all done in Munich. So big magic. All of a sudden we are on the set here in Munich. And this is the scene, of course, that sets everything up when he sees the book. I love that scene. It's so beautifully lit. Just Vacano, the cinematographer, did a wonderful job. Also, I think the new version now, the quality of the colors, of the clarity of it all is beautiful. It's a beautiful print.
I was...
You're hiding, aren't you?
No, I was just...
The video arcade is down the street. Here we just sell small rectangular objects. They're called books. Require a little effort on your part and make no beep, 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 beeps. On your way, please.
This character kind of is etched in my brain as well as the introduction to the book. Can you talk about him a little bit and what he brought to Bastian?
It's so interesting and well done. The film, as you know, is based on that great book, Die unendliche Geschichte, the never-ending story. And the way he sets it up, his curiosity of the boy, because he feels that something is wrong with the boy. He feels that he's being chased. He feels that he's lonely. And he really tries to get him in a very interesting way interested into this magic book. Because as we know, it is a magic book. There's something about it. And we see at the end when he finally has him so interested that he actually steals the book. It's so cute when he then looks after him, what comes soon, and had a smile on his face and said, it really worked. He got it. He's hooked now. Now he can go on a great adventure. And that is a wonderful setup, I think, for the story, so that an audience also feels, oh my God, I want to go with him now, with Bastian. Open that book and see what's so magic and so dangerous also. He said it's a dangerous book.
Or Robinson Crusoe.
But that's what I like about him.
Ah, but afterwards you get to be a little boy again.
What do you mean?
Listen. Have you ever been Captain Nemo? Trapped inside your submarine?
This story within a story is very special. How did you decide that you wanted to bring this story to the screen?
I just finished my film Das Boot, and it was a very different story. As you know, it was a very tough and hard and very realistic film about World War II and the people inside a submarine. And my son at that time was 12 years old. And I had the strong feeling after being for myself so long involved in a world that was just more really for grown-ups, for adults, and a very tough subject matter. It would be great to find something where I can connect more with my own son and do something for him, what he likes and what he enjoys. And here the never-ending story came along. This book was a huge, huge success in Germany. And Bernd Eichinger and Dieter Geisler, they bought the rights, and it happens like that. First was somebody else, a good friend of ours, of his and of mine too, was attached to it to do it, but he did not really connect so much with the material. So Bernd Eichinger came to me and asked me, what about you doing this? So I was delighted. I thought it was great. This is what I was looking for, something completely different, something about what's good for kids, something where my son would have fun. And turned out to be a great time we had. Wonderful. So here we are back in Vancouver, because also this school thing, I think we wanted to have something what really looks like a non-European school or German school. And we found this, so that is also nice when he looks inside and sees, oh, it's math. He has something better to do than that. And here he goes, and we run with him because we cannot wait now to go into the attic and open the book, where then, you know, the whole thing starts. Here, for example, Spielberg told me to make a cut because when you see now the next wide shot, I had first an empty attic, and then slowly on the right side of the image, he was coming into the shot, and then what you see now. And he said, why don't you cut right when he's already walking? These are sort of the little tricks to make it a little faster. And he was right. It was just a little too slow. This, of course, is a set again in Munich, and we are very often in this movie here because in this attic a lot of very dramatic things will happen. And now the Orin is on top of the book, and this beautiful theme, musical theme of Klaus Doldinger. I think it's great.
It was midnight in the howling forest. The wind whistled through the tops of the ancient trees. Suddenly something enormous crashed into...
And now we crash right into Fantasia. Whoom. Here we go.
These creatures are extraordinary.
Yeah, it's so fun to see it nowadays, where you do everything with CG and computers and so more technically perfect. And what I still like, if I may say so, even if it's my own film, is these are all have some kind of a charm of something what is done a slightly different way, like almost an ancient, old-fashioned way. And because of that, I think they have a special character, a special thing about them. It doesn't feel too technical. This is Thilo Brückner, by the way, here, who came in the very last moment into the film because it was originally also meant to be a mechanical creature, this one. It didn't work out well, so he played it now as a person. And then it's one of the great characters, of course, is this rock biter.
I've been traveling all day.
Whenever he moves, there's almost sort of an earthquake. And what a fun thing for kids to see this, you know, this giant, and especially look at this. And especially, I think, because he's a gourmet, a rock biter, always looking for the good rocks. And now he knows why they are here, because of the rocks. Must be a vintage year. This was all very tricky to do for us at those days because, again, you had no CG at that time, right? You could not go with the help of the computer. For example, a big creature like the rockbiter, there are many people, of course, in the background you don't see, and they pull on strings and move this part of the mouth. and the other person that part of the mouth. And so it's all animated by hand, basically, by people who animate this creature. Right as we see it, it happens. And you cannot really correct it anymore because it's just basically done at the moment.
Someone is inside Rockbiter, though, isn't there an actor in there?
Oh, yeah. Sometimes it's inside, and from outside you get some additional help in movements, and so that you, of course, don't see. But when we come later to the biggest creature of them all, to the dragon, right? The luck dragon, there I think we had like 25 operators, people pulling strings and all that.
So it must have been a fun experience to visually design these characters. I mean, when you read the book, you think of it in your head, but to have different artists maybe create them.
Yes.
What was that experience like?
That was a very special experience here also. It was a kind of an unusual way to get the look and the feel and the design of the film. Normally you work with a production designer. He works with his storyboard artist, and that's it. But here we had sort of a double team. We had Ulderico from Italy, who was a very famous painter, very talented guy, who started with design ideas and landscapes and creature ideas and all that. And then he worked together with Rolf Zehetbauer, who came more from the practical side of actually turning these things then into practical sets and creatures. So they worked together. Sometimes there was a little bit of a problem between the two of them because, as it is, with two artists working on the same, basically, film and working on a vision, and then, of course, you have the director also being involved in all that, sometimes not easy to really settle on things. But at the end, as you can see, it feels and looks like it's a good vision here and a good feel of somebody had real control over the vision and the look of the film.
What you have told us is also happening where I live in the West. A strange sort of nothing is destroying everything.
Yes. We night hobs live in the South. And it's there, too.
So, it's not just in our part of Fantasia?
Maybe. It's already everywhere. Maybe our whole land is in danger. What can we do?
Getting into costume, though, must have taken hours and prep to get on set.
Yeah, it was a very, very big production. I mean, you couldn't believe it when you saw the army of people working there. Even if it was shot in English, it was a German film, and it was unheard of. It was a very high budget, was amazing. It was a really enormous risk. That also was the reason, of course, not only to shoot it in English, but also for the international version, make sure not only that it doesn't feel too much German and too much local, but a worldwide audience can connect to it. So that's why we shot it in Vancouver, as I said, and also that's why we did a little bit of a faster version for the international and especially the American market. And also we did additional music. Giorgio Moroder added some pieces of music with a bit more modern sort of electronic feel to it, to Klaus Doldinger's wonderful main music, and he did still the majority of the music, Klaus Doldinger, and Moroder did the song. So all that helped, I think, to open the film more up for an international audience.
Maybe I'll take a few of these yummy gourmet rocks for the road. Oh, no.
Oh, no, here, now. The nothing. That's a beautiful thing about the whole story here. That the nothing is about to destroy and to eat, basically, Fantasia. And that the whole world is endangered. It's a beautiful setup for somebody now to come and try to save Fantasia. He will be there soon. So now they fly. It's a new chapter here to the Empress.
There it is. The heart of Fantasia.
The visual effects for the time in 1984 were pretty groundbreaking, were they not? I mean, you said there were puppeteering and there were people, but
Yeah.
I mean, still it was...
It was, because we had at that time already the help of ILM in San Francisco, But as I said, at that time, computer was not really in the cards. But they did already something like this, for example, here, the Ivory Tower. Wonderful matte paintings. They had these great artists, and the look of this is a fairy tale look, a fantasy look, is beautiful. But imagine again, this is a typical Ulderico design. I told you about the Italian artist. He came up, and when he painted it, it was like looking at beautiful big paintings. It's just a wonderful way of getting, also for a director, into the feel of the whole film. If you have already in your hands these kind of images by this great artist. This is the music that was done by Moroder.
The home of the empress. She's our only hope.
And now, the home of the empress. And now we hear what the problem is. Moses Gunn here, great actor. And it's also interesting now to see, nowadays you would probably have here like a few hundred or few thousand people standing by the computer, all multiplied. And so we couldn't do it. It all looks a little small, but it has its charm, I think, because of that. Also, you see the individual creatures standing there and listening. So they're all people inside and very simply done.
Friends, I know why you are all here. The nothing.
The nothing is destroying our world. You'll see these faces, aren't they cute?
So how much of the book is in these scenes? I mean, were these characters described in the book? How much liberty did you take from the book to the screenplay?
Michael Ende, who does not live anymore, he would have said it's not enough of the book. We had a big fight with Ende, and he was really fighting us. He actually wanted at some point to stop the production because he was so not used to that anything could be changed in his book. He had no idea about a film is a very different thing than a book. So when you ask me what did you take from the book, we took quite a bit, and there was beautiful descriptions of the world of Fantasia and everything. But first of all, our never-ending story covers only the first half of the book, and this first half is still a gigantic book. So we had to drop a lot of things and streamline things and make it. But everybody who makes movies about and uses books knows that it's always the same process. Very often, the writer of the novel knows that and supports that and knows it's a different medium. Sometimes it's not. And in our case, it was not. I mean, he was not very happy with it. But what can we do?
Atreyu.
Here he comes now, the name Atreyu. And we saw him was kind of an Indian boy hunting the buffalo. And it's so wonderful that when that's mentioned in the book, he looks at his school thing and it's sort of, glued on there already. So what the hell is going on? Why is that so? All these things of back and forth of what he reads and what has to do with his personal situation, his personal life. It's a marvelous idea to get him slowly, and us, of course, slowly really into the story. And here he is, Noah Hathaway, great-looking boy. Oh, my God, I got so many letters after the film came out of girls who wanted to know where he lives, how can we get close to him. And so he is, I think, the really right-looking, great-looking little boy for this part. And the wonderful idea, of course, that this is the kid that has to save Fantasia. And he has to put the weapons away, has to all throw it away and go just as he is, with no support of weapons, nothing, just by himself, with pure courage.
So what's the backstory of Atreyu that viewers may not know had they not read the book? Is there more of a history of his character? I mean, is he a stories of his being a warrior? What is there more to it?
No, it's not much more to it. And the way I remember, but don't forget, it's a long time ago or so. But I don't think that in the book there's much more of a backstory. I mean, just he came basically when we need a warrior, we need somebody, and he was sent as the guy who can save Fantasia. And the fact that it's a kid, it's a beautiful thing. And also for Bastian reading this book now, it's basically the same age. And also for the audience out there, movie audience, I mean, to watch now that kids are chosen to change the world, that kids are important, that kids are the heroes here in this story, including the empress, who also is a kid, is a little girl. And that makes it so enchanting. And as we know, it's always good in the movie to send somebody out on a quest and follow this person now through this adventure of a lifetime. And with the idea at the end to save this world.
The Empress will surely die, and our whole world will be utterly destroyed.
When do I begin?
Now, and you must hurry, Atreyu.
What kind of training did Noah require? Prep for the role?
Oh, a lot. I mean, first of all, we wanted to have this look of an Indian, so he had to go, because he was much paler than we see him here, and he hated that. He had to go always into the studio to fit artificial color to look more like an outdoor Indian kind of type. And we had to do that for months. And then he had to ride the horse. He had to train riding horses.
He who wears the orin speaks for the Empress. It will guide and protect you.
Here we see now when he starts going out on his quest, when we see him go through various landscapes, so that we get a feeling of that this is the world of Fantasia. And we actually shot that also around the world, and this was done in Spain with second unit. Got this great shot where these are not computer horses in the background, they are there. Great score here, great music, so that we have the feeling the big adventure really starts. And this is matte paintings combined with a real landscape somewhere. And then we always these hard cuts to not forget that there's danger out there.
At the same time, elsewhere in Fantasia, a creature of darkness.
And now comes a new character that a lot of kids were very afraid of, and still are when they see it. And here it comes for the first time. It's Gmork. There he is.
Those green eyes.
Yeah. He will be a lot of trouble.
They had been traveling aimlessly.
We see also the great relationship that he has with Artax, Atreyu and Artax. I think this is done on stage. He actually looks like it's really somewhere out there, but it's a huge stage in Munich on the stage 4 or 5 at Bavaria Studios where we shot that. And we had to set up really the beautiful relationship between this kid and his horse, because they were the team now to go and do this quest.
What is it, Artax? Is it time to go already? I know.
How many horses were used?
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
I think for Artax, I think we had, I'm not so sure, but maybe 3, 4.
No, it's a great idea.
And here it starts what I think is so amazing, that he gets his cues out of the book. So when he sees now, oh, they are eating, now I'm eating. So he slowly gets part of the story. And that's so inventive. That's what Michael Ende did, was really quite something.
No, not too much. We still have a long way to go.
We still have a long way to go, yeah. This is another great landscape somewhere with a little bit help of some matte painting in the background. And now let's see where the first obstacle, of course, if you go on a quest, very soon there will be an obstacle. Very soon there will be difficulty and danger coming. And look how great he looks, this boy on the horse.
The production design team must have really had a big project here with these sets here.
Yes, look at this again. I mean, this is all on stage. That's where the place, exactly, here he comes. He just left here with Artax, as we saw, and Gomork is on his heels. He's coming. And now comes, I talked about the first obstacle. This all is also stage. It looks huge, and the stage is very big.
Atreyu and Artax had searched the Silver Mountains, the Desert of Shattered Hopes, and the Crystal Towers, without success. And so there was only one chance left, to find Morla, the Ancient One, the wisest
These
being.
upcoming emotional scenes, was the crew, was everyone pretty emotional
Oh, yes.
watching this?
Not, everybody. We did not really like very much to shoot this because it's very sad. It's the swarms of sadness. That is what, for example, the first test is also for our warrior. Will he make it or not? Will he succumb to the danger and what it means? Because this stands for sadness, for depression, for giving up hope. If he let it happen. And that's a test. It's a very typical thing on a quest, when a warrior goes on a quest, that he has to go through these tests. And this scene now with Artax, this was discussed very, very much, this scene, because it's a real horse. But I can tell everybody who really thought, how did they do that, and did they do too much to maybe harm the horse? We did not. It was really so well trained with our 2 or 3 horses we had, that it was for them a very normal thing at the end of the day, what it was to slowly sink. Because normally a horse does not do that, hates that. But it was trained. When you see it, it looks like...
Very calm.
Very calm. It's just the situation is so sad. But the horse is okay.
Come on, boy. What's the matter? I understand.
Always when I see that, and I told you it was a long time that I saw it last week, first time again. Always goosebumps.
So this is all on the stage, and did his
Yes.
actual part submerge?
Yes, and a hydraulic underneath, and that slowly goes down. And that was trained with the horse, that the horse knew it will not happen anything to the horse. It just goes slowly lower. And then we stopped at some point where we said, that's the max. We never show the rest, of course. This was the end stage. And the horse is good. We are not. Atreyu is not, but the horse is okay.
And how did Noah feel in this scene?
Oh, we all hated it. We all were so sad to do that, but it is so important. Because a film like that has to go through strong, heavy emotions also, and sadness. And yeah, here we fade out. And we know it's over. But now it's the question, what will he do? Will he keep going? And this is also, I know that when people see this, and especially also kids, of course, but not only kids, this is the toughest moment. This is the saddest moment in the film. Oh, look at this cut. I always love that. They're both crying. And maybe many in the theater as well. But we know also in a story like this, things will turn around. Something will happen. What makes you smile again. And it's coming very soon. Because Atreyu decides to keep going. To not give up. Not give up. Not give in into sadness and depression and let go. He keeps fighting. And if that's the case, things will go better. Like in life.
Do people know why Michael Ende wrote this book? This big hopelessness, conquering hopelessness. Why was this the big theme of the book?
I think it's always like good stories and good fairy tales. Always, it's just a reflection of life, of what's out there. what people go through, the ups and downs, and they always have some messages. Good fairy tales have strong messages, and that's the same here, of just keep going and follow your, it will come later on, no? A lot of these things, follow your dreams, don't give up, and good things will come of it.
The Ancient One.
Now, for example, this is what I said. All of a sudden, something really uplifting and funny comes right after this sad scene when he climbs this hill. And a lot of people, of course, know what's coming now, what kind of hill that is. And this is, I must tell you, one of the greatest creature inventions I've ever seen. I mean, I've never seen something so funny about a turtle. I can't say it because we will see it in a second. Yeah, here we go. All that is done on stage, in that same stage. And now we see when the mountain is moving, and we still don't know what the hell is all this. And he slides all the way down, and then the reveal of good old Morla is quite something. And she's very, very old.
And she does not care.
And she does not care, and she talks to herself. They always talk as we. Look at this face. Yeah, exactly. Only a mother can love that face.
Were there men moving this face around, puppeteering as well?
Yeah, I'm sure it was, because I don't think that anybody could be inside that creature. I think it was like that. Puppeteers again, I'm sure. And then the great thing is about her, first of all, to find the voice. You know, that was really because it was this kind of strange voice. And also we manipulated technically the voice a little bit.
Please help me, Morla. Do you recognize this?
Well, we haven't seen the Orin in a long time.
Orin. That is this amulet what he has. It's called Orin. And a little bit of information. The Orin I sent and gave Spielberg after he helped me with the cut. And he has that now. The original Orin is with him.
Lucky him.
Yep. It was a beautiful crafted thing.
We started talking to ourselves.
And that's the big sneeze. You have to really come up with that one.
I mean, kids love a sneezing turtle, right?
Oh, yeah, the sneezing turtle who doesn't care about anything, who is 1,000 years old, and it's wonderful.
Actually, we don't care.
If I don't save her, she'll die! There's a terrible nothing sweeping over the land! Don't you care about that?
We don't even care whether or not we care.
That's nice. We don't even care whether or not we care. So that comes a little false start. A delayed sneeze.
Do you have a cold?
No. We're allergic to youth.
Allergic to youth. Vom. He had so much fun here, Noah, with this stuff. Always being blown out of the tree.
Did he do his own stunts?
Everything, yes. There are very few things later on the movie I will point it out where you say he could not have done that one. But other than that, he did, yes.
That at least would be something.
Please help me. You said you knew the answer.
We're tired of sneezing. Go away.
What I like about these fantasy stories when they have a real good structure and a hero that goes on a quest. So this is the big set piece of Morla, right? The big turtle. And you know when this is over, the next big thing will come, where you go into a completely different kind of challenge and adventure. And we definitely will.
Southern Oracle.
How can I get there?
You can't. It's 10,000 miles away.
10,000 miles away, so, well, how do I get there? Not even the horse is there anymore. So it's a question again, will he stick with it? Will he keep going, right? And the whole thing is from the story to tell the kids, just keep going. Hang in there, do your own thing, follow your instinct and your wish, and don't give up. Now is the end of school, so it means for us who we know how stories go, and for an audience, they know it's getting maybe a little bit more lonely now here for him. A little more quiet, and maybe a little bit more dangerous, and I think it will.
How did Barrett feel? I mean, he was alone in much of the scenes, no
Yes.
other actor with him.
I had a very good relationship with him. I loved him. In between takes, he was sitting on my lap and we were playing and so on. And he had a lot of fun. And here, as I said, it's getting a little bit creepy and eerie. We're cranking up the story now here. And he, again, same thing again. He wants to run away. And I just kept the camera here and didn't do anything because did he learn his lesson already? He did. Meaning he comes back. He is hanging in there. He is going all the way now.
No. Atreyu wouldn't quit now.
That's a nice thing also for kids to see that. Just don't give up. Even if it gets a little tough. This is a piece of Moroder music again, where again Atreyu is in a state of mind where he doesn't know if it makes sense. Where he had to go is 10,000 miles away, and where he is, we see how can he ever do that. So something must come. And of course, Gomorrah is after him. So what is next? And the idea is, of course, if there's a will, if he keeps going, something will happen. And it does. We will see. And this is a shot where I always smile a little bit when I see the luck dragon now coming, because that is really a little simple. That you would do today a little different. But what the hell? I mean, it is 30 years ago. Here you see this shot. And this shot where he saves in the last second before, but it still works. It's still exactly, that's how we all feel. Whew, he made it.
Oh, boy.
The concept of the luck dragon, I mean, one of the most identifiable creatures, creating him, his textures, his colors, I mean, talk about bringing him to life.
The biggest creature, the most difficult thing to make, huge, you will see it in this shot, when Atreyu wakes up later. And look at the texture, look at all the details with the scales, and so it's just a marvelous thing. But to animate it, can you imagine what that means? I think for the face, we had at least 10 or 12 people working on. What's so funny, one had the left ear, one had the right ear, one had sort of eyebrows, nose, two also had the mouth, and they had all to work together. And they train forever to coordinate the movements, otherwise it looks like all weird and strange. And here you see a little bit what kind of still beautiful thing in the face happens here. And I think the fact that it is not done by a computer and so technical, it feels somewhat more real. I don't know. It has heart. It has a soul. It has something.
Leaving so soon?
I was just going to... I have to... I was trying to...
Sneak away?
Yeah. I mean...
Look at this. The voice was also very important, of course.
Breakfast?
Never. I'm a luck dragon. My name...
We fall in love right away with him because we feel also in the voice, the warmth of the voice, the kind of humor the dragon has, that Atreyu is better now. He's in good shape, and it looks like this creature can carry him to places.
Why, could you get round and scratch behind my right ear?
That's, of course, a winner, scratching behind the ear. That's a great bond, right from the beginning. Let's see if the scratching works.
Here?
Look at the tongue coming out.
At the time, did you have any idea how beloved this Falkor would be for children worldwide?
Yes, I think we had, because on the set we were all smiling. And we know this will work. This is just a creature you fall in love with. And we all knew that. What I said before, it's not like with a computer thing. It takes weeks and month before a character slowly comes together. Here, right on the set, it was there. I mean, what you see here actually happened on the set. No additional finesse, nothing. The character was there. We knew it was a wonderful character.
With luck.
You've already brought me the entire 10,000 miles?
No, only 9,891, as the dragon flies.
You're amazing!
Having a luck dragon with you is the only way to go on a quest. Things will work out fine, Atreyu.
So now I think we all feel better, all the kids feel better, that the luck dragon is there, and so everything will be fine. So I think he has already, in his quest, he had already gone through very tough times and very sad things, but he has a friend now. And that's also something what is good in a story like this. You need a friend. You need somebody you can trust. And now, of course, something to introduce what really is like comedy. This is a fun couple. And they're tiny. And very, very funny. These are very good actors from England that we finally found. And the set I love. I think it's so cute. And he's a big scientist. And he will be of great help to get Atreyu where he wants to go. Look at these ears. I mean, we had so much fun to design this head. This nose is not bad. And I think this one tooth I like.
What is she eating? I have to know.
I think she's eating, in reality, she's eating some, I don't know, rubber worms or whatever, toy things. But you know what she put into this broth is awful. And it's the most terrible thing what you can imagine. But the boy needs his health back, as we know. And as we see later on, also the dragon can have a little bit of a shot.
I'm going this way. I'm always trying to do my place. He's well. Now it's my turn with him. Oh, no, you don't.
So now the film has a complete different feel again. And that is good for kids. And for everybody, for all of us, is we see smiles. Atreyu is smiling again. And it's fun new characters. And so it's a nice up and down in this story, from all the sadness before and all the shock elements with Gomork is something what really opens your heart and is wonderful. And you know, with these two characters, you will have a good ride. Before it then, of course, gets more dramatic again.
There's eye of newt in there, tree mold, old lizard brains, scales from a rancid sea serpent. Just where did you and your dragon come from? What are you onto? Anything of interest to the scientific community?
My name's Atreyu. I came here to find the southern
How is this shot? One's larger, one's smaller.
The way you do that is we had already blue screen in those days. That was already there. So you would do the shot on Atreyu when we look over his shoulder, for example, against blue screen. And then the two of them shoot separately and make them smaller as we want and combine that in the lab later on. So that's a fairly easy thing to do. Like this, for example. That was shot as a foreground element against blue screen, and the two of them are shot separately, and then you put it together.
You don't move in scientific circles. I am the expert on the southern article. Oh, you've come to the right place, my
Do you
boy.
remember what kind of direction you gave the two of them in terms of how to bring out this comedy?
I think I had not much to do here because they were pros, absolute pros. They knew exactly what to do with their parts. English actors sometimes are so professional and they hit it right on the point. And this is also a very funny design, I think, that she has to wheel him up there to the platform where he can see the swings there.
A Century of Studying the Southern Article by Professor Engeville, Volume 1, The Early Years.
Have you ever been to the southern article?
What do you think? I work science.
That's a nice set. And I remember when we were shooting the scene, we still had, and that was an unbelievable thriller for us, we still had no childlike empress, the actress. And we were way into shooting this movie. And we have sent people around the world to find this special, beautiful, childlike kid to play the empress because we wanted to have a face that is so extraordinarily special that you believe it's an empress, not just a girl next door. And I say that because I remember when we shot the scenes, we always had discussions about what do we do. The scene with the childlike empress is coming up in 2 weeks or so. We still don't have her. So right after I think we completed this, I had my first test with Tammy Stronach, and she came, funny enough, from San Francisco. We were all the way to Indonesia, to Thailand, everywhere, and she came from America, from San Francisco. And 10 or 11 years old, and she was it then. And when she comes later, I'll tell a little bit about what we did with her face.
Does not feel his own worth, tries to pass by.
This is a nice machine here.
I hope those still exist somewhere in some warehouse. They haven't been disassembled.
Yeah, well, I hope so too. I think they have, because in Bavaria Studios in Munich, they have a tour, a little bit like the Universal tour, where also, for example, my Submarine Das Boot is there and many other things. I think they have a lot of Never-Ending Story stuff. So whoever goes to Munich and wants to see parts of the Never-Ending Story there or Das Boot, I'm sure it's there, still there to see at the tour.
I think there's a replica of Falkor there as well.
Yes, and actually people can ride on Falkor against blue screen, and then they can fly through the air and they get that little tape with them. It's great for kids.
The Sphinx's eyes, are they open or shut? Let me see.
They're shut.
Over here.
No, wait!
Oh.
The eyes are opening!
So now we are in the story again where we see, okay, it's not all that fun. It's getting really dark and dangerous again. Again, we need that for a story like this. You need the next obstacle. You need really the next test coming up. And it's coming.
Sphinxes can see straight into your heart. Listen, boy. Next time, let me see what happens. It's my telescope.
These two creatures there, when he has to pass this, going through what we just saw with the guy who was killed, is they can see. It's also another theme of the whole thing. They can see straight in your heart. So if you are a good person, if you are honest, if you let your heart be open, and you're not afraid to open your heart and show who you are and what you are, you might have a chance. It's all directed at kids, of course, and to learn things from this, to have some themes that are really important for the audience, especially kids.
You'll never make it. You'll never make it.
Was there any issue in the design of these sphinxes?
They were actually not computerized or whatever. They were huge things that we built on stage there. And we just had a special glow fabricated around them, but that was all done on the stage again. And I think it's quite scary because they look so beautiful, but they are, as we see, they are deadly. And it all depends now what his state of mind is and who he is. And he has the courage to do it. So means he somehow knows he can open his heart and he has a chance because he sort of believes in himself. Everybody, I guess, holds his breath here. Ooh, little shocker.
Oh, no! Don't start to doubt yourself. Be confident.
Don't start to doubt yourself. Be confident. I like this. Confidence.
Run, Atreyu! Run!
Run, Atreyu!
I love that about this story, that it's so beautiful for kids. I think it makes kids feel much better afterwards when they see that. They know they can trust and they should trust themselves if they really want to go places.
He made it! He made it! He made it!
He's happy.
He made it! He made it!
And that's a little bit of a energizer for the dragon.
So was Falkor easy to move around, move from set to set?
Yep.
The Sphinx Gate! I always said he could do it. Oh, good! But that's no reason.
He got a little, extra boost from her and is ready to go.
Safe.
Nonsense! You don't understand anything. The worst one is coming up. Next is the magic mirror gate. Atreyu has to face his true self.
Aha, so we have another lesson to learn here. The next obstacle, Atreyu has to face his true self. That's another nice theme here of what you have to go through in order to keep going and succeeding, is you have to face yourself.
Most men run away screaming.
And if you can live with that, what you see in the mirror, then you can go through and you will be okay. But if you see something very ugly when you see yourself, so if there's something hidden inside of you, what you don't reveal or what you don't really talk about it, but you see it in this mirror because the mirror tells you the truth, then you start running away, screaming, you will never make it. But if you feel good about, finally, about watching yourself in the mirror and what you see, then you might pass.
This is the first true integration of our two characters.
Oh yeah, it gets closer and closer, and later on when it then really gets to, when he enters the story, that is wonderful. So everybody waits now, of course. What will happen? Who is he? What is he inside? What kind of boy is he? And now, that is a big surprise. He sees him. That was a little bit too much for him.
This is going too far.
It's going too far. I like it also when it's always done with some real sense of humor about it. That he just throws that damn book away. But of course, he has to grab it.
Do you know where that book is?
Oh, I'm sure it's also at the Bavaria Studios, I guess.
You didn't keep anything?
I don't. No, I was not so lucky. I mean, as I told you, Spielberg is guarding the Orin. That's the only thing we gave away. I think the other stuff is all together still there. And now we see what happens. And he passes. So now we all know what this means. It means that we're getting into night. And that normally means the tension is mounting.
The Southern Oracle?
The Southern Oracle. This is also a great, I think, Ulderico design, the Southern Oracle.
Do not be afraid. We will not harm you. We have been waiting for you a long time, Atreyu.
Are you the Southern Oracle?
Yes.
Now he gets answers.
Then you must know what can save Fantasia.
Yes, we do.
Well, what is it? I have to know.
The empress needs a new name.
That is a big surprise, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
A new name.
But that's easy. I can give her any name she wants.
No one from Fantasia can do it. Only
What's the story of giving the new name?
Well, that's a big thing discussed over and over again. And when we come to that moment later on in the film, I will tell you what the name is. Because that's the question people ask me all the time. Because it's not actually really in the film. And actually, you don't hear it. But I know what it is.
And was that intentional to not make it clear what the
Yes.
name is that he screams?
Yes.
if you want to save our world, you must hurry.
So now it starts, as you see, they disintegrate, they fall apart, meaning the nothing is closing in. This is basically the sort of third act stuff. It's now time to really do something. And we will come to that later, to find the solution and to find a name for the Empress, to turn things around.
Hurry, Falcon. The nothing's everywhere.
Don't worry. We'll reach the boundaries of
So before it gets then really bad and frightening, we have a fun part one more time that the audience, the kids love, is when they fly through Fantasia.
Faster, Falcon, faster. We have to hurry.
All right, hang on tight.
What was Noah's experience doing this?
Ah, he loved it. You can see it in his face. And everybody, and also with that great music, when they go to the Bavaria tour and they do that, this is what they can do, the kids there. There is a part of Falco there in blue screen, and they sit there and do the same thing what Atreyu does, raising the arm and landscapes flying by, and they just love it. It's great fun for them. For Noah, it was a wonderful time to play this part. I think it's a dream for a kid to play a hero and a warrior like this.
And he's such a talent to have that range of emotion, to be able to deliver that much.
Right. Fun and happiness and incredible, horrible sadness, and at the end, as we all know, because the story is well known, to save the Empress and to win it.
What a shame they don't ask me. My mother. She had such a wonderful name.
She had a wonderful name. That's nice. What's really interesting is it gets now closer and closer between him and the book and the story. It gets closer and closer.
Possibilities where they could go no further.
Look, Atreyu, the nothing!
Now is the dark part coming.
How is this nothing created?
In a special big tank, you create these cloud-like... Brian Johnson did that. He was a special effects guy. It's a way to create clouds with all kinds of, I don't know, chemicals or so. You get all the greatest formations and colors and so, the way you want it. And then you mix it together and dissolve it from one into the next, and then you have wonderful, frightening effects. Because that was the task. What is the nothing, right? You cannot say and show nothing. That would be a little boring. So you have to find something what represents the nothing and what is like a mighty force that eats everything in its path and has an enormous power to destroy everything. And he came up with that, and I thought it works quite well, and we'll see it a little bit later, what it then actually physically does, the destructive work. Now we have another of these down moments, very, very much for Atreyu, because he lost Falco and he lost the Orin. So he's completely alone again and doesn't know what to do. And the nothing is now really closing in. So when I said third act, this is third act, meaning we are going to the end. If nothing really happens here, it will be over. Fantasia, this wonderful world of Fantasia, will be destroyed and will be gone. And all the people and all the hopes and dreams and wonderful creatures in it will go. It's up to him now.
Atreyu! Where are you? Atreyu!
And you see it's already destroyed to big parts. And now he soon will come, and there it is, a creature. And it's one of my favorite scenes here, because it's so sad when you see here this huge mountain that moves, and we know very shortly who that is, all by himself now. When we go over the toenails here, that it's our rockbiter. A rockbiter who cries, who realizes it's over.
They look like big, good, strong hands.
Going to the visual effects here, I mean, did you ever have a larger team of people working on a film like this?
I don't think so. Not on big films I did later on, like Troy or so. Because you did so much with a computer, you didn't have these masses of people who were on the set creating all these. That is probably the largest group of hundreds of people who were working on this. For example, here, to bring the rockbiter here to life, the most I told you was with the luck dragon. But here with the rockbiter, was somebody I think was inside. But then from outside, what you don't see, nowadays you can have all kind of wings and wires and all things connected to it, and later on the computer takes it out. We couldn't do that also. So whatever people were there, puppeteers working on it, they all had to be hidden. and do it so that we don't see it. Because again, what you see is that's what happened and what we shot and nothing else.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Listen, the nothing will be here any minute. I will just sit here and let it take me away too. They look like good, strong hands, don't they?
That's so nice also here, because the film goes in this emotional range, and the arc of the story, it's so up and down from going into really disastrous and very scary scenes here. But before that, we have so light, wonderful comedy moments and heartwarming moments and wonderful creatures. And now here it becomes really mysterious when he goes here into these wounds and sees the images on the wall. And so that is where you get an idea that this is a never-ending story. That what does this mean? What does it mean that he all of a sudden sees the beginning of the story when he was on his horse? When he sees Morla and he himself in the tree.
Artax.
And then the death of Artax, where he tries to pull him out. We have seen all that. It feels like it is, looks like it's all part of history already. Did that happen already before? Is that for the ages? You don't know. It's mystery. And there's Gmor. And here comes the shock. This scene here and the dialogue and the way the story now comes to a point where we really don't know how this will end, and what Gmork has to say is very, very good.
Who are you?
I am the Morg. And you, whoever you are.
We only see his face, and so there's a lot of attention on his mouth.
Yes.
Tongue and mouth
Yes.
movement.
There are a lot of people behind this creature. Animate and pull strings and puppeteers and all that kind of stuff.
And a linguist.
Yes.
Then fight the nothing.
But I can't. I can't get beyond the boundaries of Fantasia. What's so funny about that?
Fantasia.
We recorded the dialogue before, of course, with the actor. And then the puppeteers and so had to train with that tape of the dialogue till they got it then finally for the actual shooting right. There's a lot of training, a lot of work. That this creatures like that they really work with the dialogue and still be a character that really comes across as a character. This is, even if it's kind of simply done with puppeteers and so, but it is a very threatening, menacing creature.
Therefore, it has no boundary.
But why is Fantasia dying then?
Because people have begun to lose their hopes.
There you go. That is what's, again, good for kids.
So the nothing grows stronger.
What is the nothing?
It's the emptiness that's left. It is like a despair, destroying this world.
So that they give up their hope and dreams. If that happens, if people give up their hope and dreams, then there's nothing left but the nothingness, and the world will go. That's a very, very beautiful lesson for kids.
Did you find that a lot of children reacted positively to this message? Did you hear
absolutely.
stories?
Absolutely. I mean, that's what they love. I mean, I met so many people who said that was, for me, one of the great films I've ever seen when I grew up, because it was so encouraging. It told me so much. I learned so much about it. And it was done in a beautiful story. Like you learn something in school or so. It was through a story and gave them strength and a perspective in life and things to believe in themselves, and that it is a wonderful thing to just have dreams and just don't dismiss them, but try to follow them and try to do what you want to do, what you want to achieve in life. It's all important, and that's what the story tells also here. And the film is, it's you. It's not just the person you read about. It's you. You are reading it right now. It's you, Bastian, who goes through this story. And that's why this is a never-ending story. It doesn't end with these people there. You and anybody who is following Bastian, when we see the film and Bastian comes in the story, it's that person again that again goes through the same adventure. And that is forever. It's why it never ends. It will always be like that. And that's what really they react. And that's why this film is not going away, I think. That it will be there for a long time, because these themes are timeless. Here we see, when the Nothing, I told you a little bit, where he did not do. Here it's a very small stunt guy who did that, because now when really the Nothing starts to destroy Fantasia, when he's being blown sidewise on that tree, that was a stunt man. That was just too dangerous.
Do you want to talk about the set and how he used a tilting set?
Yeah, it looks like he's actually blown to the side. First, I mean, the set was upright, and then we slowly, with a hydraulic, turned the set so that he's actually hanging normally down. The camera goes with it, and it looks like he's going parallel to the ground, but he's just hanging in a normal way down. But it still was too dangerous because of all that stuff what was flying through the air and everything. So last rescue again by Falco. Now it looks like it's really over.
Only a few fragments of this once rich.
Just a few fragments is left. Everything is destroyed. Except now the big question is the ivory tower. Still there with the Empress.
Good old Falco. Can you see anything?
And if there's still hope.
All the land is gone.
I know. And all because I failed.
You tried.
Do you suppose the ivory tower is still standing?
Let's hope so, Atreyu.
Now comes the part where, for the first time now, we will see her. Also very well done by Michael Ende, who wrote it like that, is that at the very end we finally see the childlike Empress. And I told you how difficult it was to find her, the actress, Tammy Stronach. And then actually my wife had the idea to really use this face and get one of the most talented visagistes, we call them, makeup people, but makeup guys who do that as art form. Not the usual makeup, who really take it at face as a piece of art and work with her face and make it a very special, unusual face for a little girl like that, with quite a bit of makeup. And that works really well. I mean, she is something so special, and that's so good. It is a grand finale in the movie here. Not only that the ivory tower is still there, there's still kind of hope And we will see finally what this is all about. It's about the childlike empress. That's very nicely constructed by Ende that she shows up here. So we have still something to really look forward. And we see that little boy here, he actually really crawls out of his blanket to finally the empress. It's funny when he eats his apple with it.
So memorable, those scenes of him eating.
Yeah, he does that so well. Now comes her theme, her music theme, so we know she will come soon.
Go on.
Atreyu has the feeling he failed and has now to face her. And all the creatures are gone here. It's just her left. Look at that face of the dragon. I love that. There she is.
Atreyu.
You can really imagine if that scene, if she shows up in the movie theater, nobody moves. It's absolutely still. We all were waiting for this moment. And to see also with these fine, beautiful makeup lines around the eyes and everything, she becomes something ethereal, something non-really human. There's some adultness about her, 11-year-old face.
You haven't. You brought him with you. Who? The Earthling child. The one who can save us
Do you remember working with her and how to bring out this emotion from her?
Oh yeah, it was good because it was an intimate setting here with just the two of them.
My horse died. I nearly drowned. I just barely got away from the nothing. For what? To find out what you already knew?
It was the only way to get in touch with an Earthling.
But I didn't get in touch with an Earthling.
That headpiece that she's wearing, I mean, that was really a trend for little girls to mimic that.
Now it is, he has suffered with you, and he is the one who will finally save us.
And now, he has come here. With you. He is very close. Listening to every word.
Isn't that amazing? Now he is really in the story. And I like that how he played that. He's still what? Like a little boy, he said, what the hell is going on here?
Where is he? If he's so close, why doesn't he arrive?
Well, he will arrive soon.
He doesn't realize he's already a part of the never-ending story.
The never-ending story? What's that?
He realizes now that he is probably the guy who has to step in and save and give her a name.
He's in the bookstore.
But that's impossible!
They were with him when he took the book, with the Orin symbol on the cover, in which he's reading his own story.
Right now. So other people are with him also, reading that story.
I can't believe it! They can't be talking about me.
What will happen if he doesn't appear?
Then our world will disappear. And so will I.
It's all about the name now.
How could he let that happen?
He doesn't understand that he's the one who has the power to stop it. He simply can't imagine that one little boy could be that important. Is it really me?
A little boy can be that important. Kids love that. Especially little boys. Give me a new name.
Already chosen it. He just has to call it out. It's only a story. It's not real. It's only a story. Atreyu, no! Atreyu!
I think now he has to do something. It's getting late. And she said he has chosen already the name. And boy, were we wrestling with what kind of name really to give, and then finally deciding it will be so loud. Now she looks right into the camera.
Why don't you do what you dream, Bastian?
Do what you dream. That's what was in the beginning. The father said, keep your feet on the ground. Here he decides not to do that, but to follow his dream and save them.
Save us? All right! I'll do it! I'll save you! I will do what I dream! Beautiful. He goes up there now, and it's so loud, so we don't hear, but I tell you what he says while he's saying Moonchild. It doesn't really mean anything, really. It's not so important what it really is. It's just that he found a name, and that was it. Moonchild. So for everybody who wants to know this, and people ask me so often, that was the name.
But that wasn't his mother's name, because he said, why didn't he leave my mother's name?
No, he found it different. So now he is in the story. Now he is with her.
One grain of sand. It is all that remains of my vast empire. Fantasia has totally disappeared.
What a nice scene is that.
Beautiful.
So small.
So everything's been in vain. No.
No, now it comes. It has not.
Fantasia can arise in you. From your dreams and wishes, Bastian.
And that's why Fantasia will come over and over again if people do the same thing. If you go and fulfill your dreams and do what you do and just not stay just feet on the ground, take off and dream and do it, you create a new Fantasia. You create a beautiful world.
What are you going to wish for? I don't know. And there will be no...
And what he will finally now wish is actually kind of funny.
How many wishes do I get? As many as you want. And the more wishes you make, the more magnificent Fantasia will become.
Just beautiful.
Try it.
That's all about kids' future, about their lives, how they approach life. That's why they like this. And now his first wish is, because he has so many, others will come, but the first, take care of business first.
Every kid's wish right here.
Yes, it's a surprise thing when after this great ride, what of course everybody wants to do, have a Falco ride, but not just that, he has also a special target.
Like it?
Falco, it's wonderful!
Was this ending sort of a debate? Was there any discussions about how to end this film because it ends in the middle of the book?
Yes, because that was a natural ending, and we always were thinking about, and they did later on. I didn't do it another second half of it. We had the feeling for a movie, this is the perfect ending, because you couldn't do the whole never-ending story in one film. It's just impossible. But here, because everybody comes back to life, he creates them back, right? It is... Artax is there, alive again. All these creatures are there. The rock biter, the world is back together. And then, of course, after this beautiful flight here, he had one more thing he has to take care of.
What would you like to wish for next?
And then comes this surprising cut to our bullies again. And of course, that is actually funny.
Look, there they are! It's a monster! Get him, Falcor! Let's see how you like it, chicken! Not
And of course, nothing is more satisfying for a little boy to go after the bullies and bully them themselves with a big luck dragon. Get you guys. And of course they have to land exactly in the trash can like where he was. And we have the last laugh. There you go. And then they disappear, and then we have this last line.
Bastion made many other wishes and had many other amazing adventures before he finally returned to the ordinary world.
But that's another story.
In watching this again, what would you say is your favorite scene or your favorite moment?
The scene with Artax in the swamps, even though it's so sad, it's a very powerful, powerful scene. And then the little scene at the end between the Empress and him, even if it's so tiny and so small and so simple, when she basically, with a grain of sand in the hand, with a little glowing thing where Fantasia is because of Bastion's entering the story and believing in himself and his dreams and not what the father says, stay on the ground with your feet, be realistic, that he didn't do it, but he committed himself to entering the story and save the thing. So what it means, of course, to be himself and go with his own dreams. That is such a small little wonderful scene between the two of them that it always gives me some tears. But there are many others, but you asked me about a couple, so... But I must tell you, now I've seen it twice after 30 years, last week and now again here with you. And it was a great ride again. It was wonderful to walk through this film again. Sorry to say that because I've made it, but what the hell. It's a nice one.
Well, it was an honor for me. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Climbs the keep